So Chainsaw Man is getting into some crazy stuff lately with one of the most powerful devils in the series being introduced. And it got me thinking, who are the strongest devils in Chainsaw Man? I mean, I think most people can pull a confident top 3, but the specifics get difficult. Like, how does the newly introduced Falling Devil compare to the infamous Darkness Devil? How does Pochita compare to the Full Power Gun Devil? This video aims to answer these questions and more as we rank the top 5 strongest devils that we've seen so far, and go into potential top tiers that have yet to be seen. After all, where would a being like the Death Devil rank on this list? Anyway, the number 5 spot is incredibly debatable. If you want to count prep time as a factor, then the Control Devil, most notably as Makima, is the best pick. Her ability that allows her to control weaker devils basically lets her stack abilities until she becomes a serious threat. A horde of zombies and devils basically acting as an army at her command, a set of hacked out weapons via the Angel Devil, the ability to see into the future via the Future Devil. However, if you don't want to count prep time as a factor, there are more impressive contenders. After all, when fighting alone, Makima would have lost to the weakened Pochita clone if it wasn't for her contract with the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, Power was really strong when she was revived into her devil form. Once again, someone who probably would have killed Makima if it wasn't for that pesky regen contract and that personal army. Being able to control other people's blood so accurately that you can just make weapons burst from their body is a ridiculous ability. And Makima was so threatened by Power in this form that she felt it necessary to make a weapon with 100 years worth of power. This all being said, the Blood Devil might not be a fair pick either. After all, Power might be powered up here. It's hard to tell if her eating Pochita gave her a genuine boost in strength or if it just revived her to her original power. And if it's the former, then that's not her genuine strength. If we counted something like that, then someone like Santa Claus would be fair game. Hell, she's more devil than human at that point anyway. But it doesn't really matter, because you want to know who actually is the 5th strongest devil in Chainsaw Man? It's the man himself, the Spear Devil. Hold on, don't click off the video, I have an actual point. Here's the thing, when Pochita was fighting all of the hybrids, you know which one performed the best? It wasn't Katana Man, he didn't do anything. It wasn't Riz either. Quan Chi might as well have not been there for all she did. Nah, it was the main man, Spear Devil, who put it right through his chest. Just unironically one of the best feats from any devil that isn't a Primal Fear. Even Makima's finger gun bang BS wasn't putting in that same work, because for some reason, Fujimoto decided that this guy is him. In all seriousness, the top 5 spot is the part of this list that I consider really debatable. Personally, I would put the Blood Devil on here given her good feats and a decent hacks ability, but I do want to hear who you would put in this spot. Hell, maybe you have some sleeper hit that I didn't even consider. As for the 4th spot on this list, I would put Pochita, the Chainsaw Devil. Everyone knows that Pochita is strong. Some people even think he's the strongest devil, even though a part of his lore is that he gets killed all the time. But yeah, he's strong. Most of the hybrids and Makima were basically nothing to him. He's even had that fight before, but that time the other horsemen were there too, and he didn't die. He just almost died. Not to mention his insane ability to regen completely from just his heart, and he doesn't even seem tired after that. The only characters we've seen have better regen were through specialized abilities like Makima's contract with the Prime Minister and Santa Claus healing from darkness. Pochita is very powerful, but also just not as strong as the really high tiers, with the series kind of making him this weird gatekeeper to the upper levels. Which brings us to the number 3 spot, the Gun Devil. Now, genuinely, there's a lot that could be said that might put the Chainsaw Devil above him, and if that's your stance, I would love for you to tell me why. But I'm giving the Gun Devil the slight edge for a couple reasons. At a first glance, the little we see of Makima versus the Gun Devil seems pretty damning for him. Chainsaw Man was beating Makima easily, and while we don't see how, Makima beat the Gun Devil well enough for it to become a fiend. But the details matter a lot in this fight. For one, what we see here is not the full power Gun Devil. This is the 20% that the United States is in possession of, meaning every feat of it that we do see is just 1/5 of its full strength. It's possible we didn't even see its full set of abilities abilities too. This is on top of the fact that Makima used more of her arsenal in this fight, such as the Punishment Devil, Future Devil, and Angel Devil. I wish we saw more of this fight to draw a more definite conclusion, but I think what we did see can at least debatably put the Gun Devil above Pochita. Now, as you can probably tell, this leaves only two other devils that we can confidently talk about, the Darkness Devil and the Falling Devil. They're the only two Primal Fears that we even know the names of. We've seen more of the Darkness Devil at this point, but we probably don't even know the full extent of its abilities. What we do know is that without even touching a person, it can remove their limbs, split them into pieces, punch holes into them, and even twist their bodies. This isn't even to mention its possible power to reflect abilities and create an invisible barrier of unknown strength. I do say he reflects abilities, but that's just a common interpretation of what he does to Kusakabe. We don't actually know. Oh, also, attacks done in the darkness just won't work. They simply heal, which is kind of insane because even though it's hard to tell, it looks like he also makes it dark when he first appears. Now, we know even less about the Falling Devil. What we do know is that the power we see in chapter 123 is just the hors d'oeuvre, so following this motif, there's at least two other powers we may see in the coming chapters. And it has the power to basically make someone fall upwards, although at the moment we do kind of have to say the Darkness Devil is stronger just from the info we have. The first ability we see from the Falling Devil seems to rely on the target's emotional weakness, which is a big possible exploit. We would have to see some crazy hacks in the next few chapters to confidently put her above the Darkness Devil, so I would currently put the Falling Devil at number 2 and keep the Darkness Devil at the number 1 spot. But here's the thing, right? This list is obviously incomplete. There's a lot of devils in the series that we know should be on here, we just don't know enough. There's definitely other Primal Fear devils we haven't seen, and all of those would obviously occupy a top spot. And it's really anyone's guess what might be a Primal Fear, it depends on what the author wants to do. Although the one devil I really want to talk about is the Death Devil, because it's really all that anyone talks about in this community nowadays. Now, for being honest, the Death Devil probably isn't a Primal Fear. Fujimoto seems to want to keep the Four Horsemen as their own thing. Plus, until Chainsaw Man intervened, death wasn't the only possibility after your lifespan ran out. So in the context of the Chainsaw Man universe, the Death Devil probably wasn't always so feared. It's definitely possible that after Pochita did his thing, the Death Devil got much stronger, likely putting him among the upper tiers. But right now, him being a Primal Fear is purely a common assumption. In the end, we'll just kinda have to see. But really, that's all we can confidently say for now. Maybe Fami will be really powerful, and there is some hype behind the Justice Devil potentially. And whatever this King of Terror ends up being is probably crazy strong, might even be a Primal Fear. But we unfortunately don't know for certain. Definitely let me know if you think there's something I missed, or some devil that I severely underestimated. There's probably some room to shift things around a bit on this list, I'll admit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. In the meantime, take care. I'll see you around.